Okay, hello everyone, it's Roger here from Infinity and Beyond, presented by Vinylmation Kingdom, and this is the second live web video that we're doing. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this up here. Okay, just a slight technical issue that I need to just take out. Sorry about this. So this is all part of the test today. So here we go. So let's have a look here. There we go. I'm back on screen. Okay, thank you very much for coming into this today. Now, the idea of this webcast is literally for us to discuss Disney Infinity. And as you can see, we are live. Currently, it's in the UK, so it's in the morning. And so there's been a bit of news over the past week that I wanted to go through with you. Now you can join in on the discussion over on our Infinity and Beyond Facebook group. We've got links up there, and if you've got any comments that you want to put up through in the show, I'm going to answer them there, and also try and answer some questions that have been put up through the week. Okay, so let's kick off first off with some news that we found out this past week. First off, last Monday we had a new trailer put out for the villains, was it Loki, Green Goblin, and Ronan the Accuser. Because of San Diego Comic-Con, there was a lot of information come out, and this past week it's sort of slowed down a little, but there's been little bits and pieces just trickling out. So they brought out the official trailer for this, so we now know that these three figures are coming out. What was interesting from the trailer was that it actually said that they would be coming out later. They're going to be basically in Wave 2, so they're not going to be available at launch. They're going to be coming out later. Personally, for me, that is great. I think there's enough figures coming out at launch that I think what they're doing by sort of spreading them out is a good idea. Now, one of the things that we saw from the villains trailer is if you stop at a very key point, you can see what looks to be Captain Marvel. Now, this is Mrs. Marvel. There's a whole kind of backstory as to sort of who Captain Marvel is, but this is the current version, Miss Marvel, and it looks like she's in the game. Now, she could be a mission giver, she could be a power disc team up, or she could be a playable character. For me, I think she's a playable character myself. I don't think it's a power disc because we've already seen the 40 that they're going to be releasing, and if they're going to, and JV has said that there's going to be some more figures being released down the line, and so it makes sense for them to sort of try and pick some strong female characters come out. So I think that was a bit of a sneak peek. So that's all pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about having something different. I'm not too aware of Captain Marvel myself, but anyway, so we've had these new trailers coming out for the villains, and I went to see the Guardians of the Galaxy movie last Thursday when it came out here in the UK. Awesome movie. I'm really excited now about the Guardians of the Galaxy playset and the characters. Now I know who the characters are a lot more. I have such a better connection with them, and now I want them straight away. So that is great, and I think that was what one of the big things about Guardians of the Galaxy is they're trying to get out a new set of heroes, just a new stories and stuff. So I was really the movie is fantastic, and so I recommend anyone go and see that. Okay, so that was about a week ago. So that was the big news. Those three big characters were confirmed. Now, we also had some news confirmed this week. So they're going to be bringing out the crystal figures. They're not going to be bringing them out for Disney Infinity 2.0. They're going to be bringing out the Sorcerer Mickey. It was delayed from 1.0, so it's going to be coming out later. So don't really need to worry about that. We don't yet know if it will work on the first game or if it will only work on the second game, but Sorcerer Mickey in crystals will be coming. However, for the second game, there doesn't look like there's going to be any crystal figures. Now, one of the reasons for this, JV said, was due to sort of not wanting to spend much time and giving us more characters. Now, for me personally, that is fantastic news. If you've got a choice of buying 7 figures that you've already got in a slightly different color paint job, the idea of spending that money on new figures, on other figures, is a lot better. If I put down £70 to £100 on, the 7 crystal figures, in the first game, I'd have much preferred another 7 toy box characters. And I think everyone pretty much felt the same. And the reaction from sort of the Facebook group has been pretty much that, the majority of people are really happy that the crystal figures aren't coming. I think, people didn't really kind of see a lot of point in them. The collectors might have wanted everything. But, Skylanders have done a lot of variants, and they do a lot of different variants, different paint jobs. They do spray overs, they do glow in the dark things. And I don't think Disney Infinity really sort of grasped that as well. I still would like the idea of having variant figures. I still think from the collector point of view as a toy, I think that would be really cool. And I think having special versions, but they need to be very limited, they need to be harder to get, and they are there for the collector. Whereas sort of the crystal ones were all in the Toys R Us. It was marked as sort of a variant, but they weren't that hard to get, and I think that was where they made the mistake. So personally, I'm glad they've gone. They were pretty bad to get hold of in terms of, in the US they had them all at Toys R Us, but they were very erratic in when they were coming out. There wasn't really a lot of information. And here in the UK, they were just, you didn't know what store they were coming out on. They would just randomly show up. So personally, I think it's a better option that they have stopped doing the crystal figures. Anyway, so I'm just going to quickly check over and see if we've got any comments here about this. Okay, no, nothing yet. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I want to bring up the next subject, which I put a story up on Vinomation Kingdom last night. Now, this story was about no triple packs coming out for Disney Infinity 2.0. This was, again, another reply to a tweet that JB put out, and basically put down that they didn't sell that well, so they're not going to be returning. And also, more importantly, that they're not going to be releasing a triple pack for the villains, Loki, Green Goblin, and Ronan. Everything is going to be individual. Now, the response from, again, the community has been pretty good. I think because there's been so many single figures available, there's been a lot on promotion. It's generally considered, it's not been a huge deal. Some people obviously were looking and go, well, it was cheaper to pick up the triple pack at certain points. Now, from my point of view as well, I look at this. This is pretty much a good thing. They put out those triple packs, and if you've only want 1 figure or 2 figures, it's not particularly great value. And more importantly, going forward, I think sort of retail space-wise, they need to be pretty spot on. They've got a lot of competition out there. Not only have you now got the Disney Infinity 1, they're going to have the Disney Infinity 2. So if the store's putting out the figures for all of those different games, it's going to take up a lot of space. So now, instead of having all these triple packs everywhere, that's going to allow some more space. Now, also, they've got, like I said, a lot of competition from Skylanders, and they're also going to have the new Nintendo one. Now, I know with the Skylanders that they've got all these triple packs. Now, I personally have already discovered that with them that I picked up some triple packs. Well, I already had one of the figures, but I only wanted the other 2, so it was a bit more expensive. If they weren't on a discount, I wouldn't have brought them. And I think that was the problem with the Disney Infinity. So I personally think having the single figures is a better system. It means that you can pick up exactly what you want. It's clearer, it's more precise. It's going to be less sort of difficult for sort of people to work out what's going on. You're going to walk in, and if you want all of the Guardians, you buy them. And if there's an offer going on, that's generally, as I said, the response from the community in the Facebook group has generally been, that it's not a major issue, but once again, it's quite clear that from the first game, Disney have learnt a few things, and they're changing some of the things they've done. We've just lost the triple packs, and we've lost the crystals. 2 sort of key points there. So those have changed. So will they be introducing new things and new differences? I think they will. I mean, this year they're bringing in the toy box game, sort of the power discs. So that's going to be a new sort of retail thing that we might see. Okay, so I'm going to move on to some other news here now. Also this week, I mean, we already had seen it all at the San Diego Comic-Con. Disney an official trailer for the Gravity Falls power discs. I've got that up on the YouTube channel there. Now, here there was a couple of things that sort of jumped out at me. First off, there was a vehicle from the Alice in Wonderland ride that they were using. But more importantly than that, what I feel was it seemed a bit strange for just free power discs. You know, they were showing interiors which looked really good, and they showed you there's lots of toys going to be available. And it was a great sort of showcase for how the interiors might work. And I think that's going to be a huge improvement for 2.0. But one thing I was kind of a bit sort of wondering about was, you know, they put out a trailer about free power discs. You know, there was so much excitement about Gravity Falls coming to Disney Infinity 2. And there's been quite a bit of a sort of a backlash to sort of, you know, people getting all excited, and they literally feel like, well, free power discs, that's not really what people wanted. Now, they didn't do this, I don't think, with the first game. They didn't, you know, it's not like they put out a trailer with all the Tron stuff, or they didn't put out a trailer with, you know, all the Alice in Wonderland. It feels like, you know, they're trying to get people in to get into the game by saying, oh, look, here's the Disney. But they're not really sort of giving out a lot of sort of Disney stuff yet. Now, that might be, I think, done on purpose, because I think it's trying to put over the Marvel side, and once that's been released, we might find out a little bit more. But it did seem a bit of an odd way of sort of presenting that information, was using this sort of trailer for power discs. Anything like it before. But at the same time, I think that's done a really good job of promoting up a couple of power discs. If they hadn't released a trailer and had that event, we wouldn't have been talking about Gravity Falls power discs. You know, we're not talking about the Lion King power discs in the same way, or the, you know, and that's good. That's, you know, they've learned from last time, and they are applying a lot more media and trying to get sort of people excited. Okay, so also this week on the Toy Box TV, JV sort of showed a picture of him with the Baymax figure, that the big statue that they saw at the San Diego Comic-Con, and he pretty much said, "I'm standing here with an sort of announced figure. Can you guess what it is?" Well, I mean, they've pretty much come out and put this huge stand there. They've put it out on Toy Box TV. He's tweeting, "Baymax is coming. We know the Big Hero 6 stuff is going to be coming out, but again, it's a slow little trickle." He is confirmed, pretty much, in my eyes, that, you know, if they're going on Toy Box TV and showing it and talking about it, you know, they've pretty much sort of said so. Anyway, as we know, sort of Big Hero 6 is coming out later this year, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Will we get a play set, or will it just be Toy Box? It looks so far from the leaks that we've seen on Walmart and Argos that they're going to be single figures, and because of. Okay, I also put up a story on Vinimation Kingdom this week about some achievements on the 360 version. Now, I'm just going to bring up the website here. Okay, so there we go. So we're up on this on the Vinimation Kingdom website now. So I'm just going to scroll through here and just bring this up here, like so. Okay, we're just loading up this page. Right, so as you can see, we're on the Disney Infinity page. Now, as you can see, we've got all these achievements that you've got on the game, which will rack up to about 1,000 points. I suspect that the Xbox One and the PlayStation trophies would be very, very similar. I can't see them being too different. Now, there's a lot of sort of basic ones here that you've seen before, that you know, pretty simple. You know, level up a character, create 5 games, ride a bike or motorcycle. I mean, there were some interesting new ones here, like linking 5 toy boxes together with toy box doors. Now, that continues to show the proof that they want to try and sort of make worlds. You know, if you can start linking toy boxes together, it's going to mean the toy box is a lot bigger. But also, there was a few things here that stood out that we didn't really know too much about. First off, Stitch's Tropical Rescue. That's going to be the name of the power disc for Stitch. And also, this here, the Explanation Survival Mode. We really have got no idea what that is. You know, is it a power disc, or is it, who knows, this could be a brand new toy. So we don't know too much about that yet. Okay, so I'm just going to flip that back. Okay, so we're just going to flip back to there. Sorry about this. Okay, so there we go. We're back in the room. As I said, this is kind of this is the second hangout I've done, and we're just kind of trying to get used to it and just trying to work out some of the details. So I am a bit sort of sluggish. The only way really sometimes is just to get out there and practice. So that's what I'm doing here. Right. So those achievements are all pretty good. A few little things sneaking out there. Personally, myself, I don't really pay too much attention to trophies or achievements while I'm playing a game. If they pop up, it's good, but I don't particularly go out there to get them. But I know some people do. Okay, this past week we had some new toy boxes coming out. It was all part of a Toy Story challenge. Now I've played through these games, and they're all going to be going up on the YouTube channel over this week. And I've already, and if you were following me on Twitch, which Baymax I've set up, I went all through them over the weekend. What I do tend to do is I'll play them all either in 1 or 2 sessions, and then I sort of split them up and spread them out over the week, just so it's a bit easier for everyone. Now, one of the things that there was some really cool toy box games, and there were some very good games, and I'm really sort of chuffed with sort of how well sort of these toy boxes are coming across, and it adds that new level. It brings, I know for myself, it brings me back in every week to play the game, which is what is what you need. That constant new content, and I'm sure when 2.0 rolls around, we're going to have a lot more content like this. But yeah, if you haven't already checked out those new toy boxes from the Toy Story Challenge Part 2, it's worth doing. And as I said, they're all going to be up on the YouTube channel. Also on the Twitch and on YouTube, I've also been going through the Incredibles playset. Now, with 2.0 coming out, I'm going to be picking that up on the PlayStation 4. And because of that, I am going to essentially, once 2.0 comes out, I will probably be getting rid of my PlayStation 3. So I thought, since I might not be playing the playsets that much anymore, I would go through them all again. And I'm playing them on Twitch. And so this past week, I just sort of finished off the Incredibles, and so I need a new playset to challenge. I've still got the other 5 to go. So what I want to know is, what should I play next? Whoever comments or does anything first with the next suggestion, I will do that one. So I'm going to go through the 6 playsets all together. Okay, so that's kind of the general sort of speed through of all of this week's news. As you can see, like I said, this is merely a case of us working out sort of with this webcast what we can do. Okay, so let's have a look here, see if we've got any. Right, we haven't had any questions yet on the Facebook group. I haven't particularly been going out and sort of promoting this just yet, other than on our own group, purely just from the fact that I needed to work out a few kinks and work out sort of working all these bits and pieces out. But anyway, as I said, we've had quite a few bits and pieces coming out this past week from Disney. I wasn't expecting too much news, to be honest. After San Diego Comic-Con, I was expecting it all to calm down, and we've had a few bits and pieces. But anyway, we're starting a new week, so hopefully we'll find out a little bit more. I am suspecting in August we are just going to get confirmation of a lot more details for the launch. They're pushing forward the pre-orders. This is an important time for them. They've got 6-7 weeks to get as many people interested in it as possible. I suspect the Toy Box TV will be pushing the Guardians of the Galaxy figures. And also at GamerCon next week, they are going to be announcing a new figure, which is over in Germany. So I'm suspecting it could be Aladdin or Donald Duck, or even the Big Hero 6 that have all been leaked on those websites. So those are my guesses. It's going to be one of those 4. I can't see them sort of surprising us with something different. But yeah, it's going to be good. I think there's a lot more information on 2.0 to come out. They said there's going to be more play sets, more figures, second waves, third waves, but they're keeping things a lot more tighter to themselves. And I think that's good. I think, that if they came all out on day one and said everything, we probably wouldn't be talking about Disney Infinity the same. But anyway, a thumbs up, and also comment below with your own thoughts. One of the big things with this whole thing is about interaction within the community, and just sort of doing something a bit different. So as I can say, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. A big thank you to everyone who has subscribed already. The YouTube channel is growing so much faster than it had before, especially with all this 2.0 news. So big thank you to that. And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you very much for watching.